Hi, this is Clayton Skinner. Hi, I'm Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. Welcome back to Be on the Beat.
Welcome back to Be on the Beat.
Welcome to Be on the Beat.
Hello there. My name is Clayton Skinner and welcome back to Be on the Beat. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play or how to add 16th note double bass to a groove. And not just like the entire bar. We're going to learn how to play it with 1 beat's worth, 2 beats worth. Throw it in random spots. It's going to be a grand old time. Before we begin though, I would recommend that you check out my introduction to double bass, where I actually teach you how to play double bass in 16th note fashion. And I think I also teach you how to play it to a beat too. But it's whole bar layout. So anyway, let's get going. So exercise 1 is simple. We're going to be taking, well, the first bar is going to be just an 8th note groove. 8th notes on the ride, 2 and 4 snare, 1 and 3 bass drum, just something simple. You can put whatever you want. You can play a quarter note groove if you want, I don't really care. And then the second bar, we're going to be transitioning into the 16th note double bass drum pattern while playing the same hand pattern that you were playing before. So if you're playing quarter notes or 8th notes on the ride, it doesn't really matter. So try just transitioning into those two. And I imagine you probably already know how to do that, especially if you checked out the last video that I just annotated. But anyway, I just want to use this as a reference point. So here's a demonstration of number 1. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, we're going to be playing the bass drum pattern on 1 E and A, and then 3 E and A. The first bar and all these exercises is going to be the same. It's just going to be a groove. So I'm not going to spend my time explaining that. So you're going to have 1 E and A, and then you're going to have the snare drum on 2. Now make sure that you can do it if you want, but don't play a bass drum on 2 and on 4. Don't match a bass drum with that snare. You want to practice playing 4 quick hits, 16th notes, and then have the snare land directly underneath it or directly behind it, so that as soon as you're done with the bass drum, it creates almost like a flammy kind of, or a draggy kind of feel, like a brrrr kind of sound, which is what you want. So listen to my demonstration and listen to how I don't play a bass drum on 2. It just goes 1 E into 2. Bam. And again, you can play quarter notes on the ride, you can play 8th notes on the ride. It doesn't really matter. I suggest you do both. But anyway, here's a demonstration of 2. Now, exercise 3. We're going to have the bass drum on 1, but this time we're going to start the double bass drum pattern on 2. So it'll be like 1 bass drum, 2 E and A, and then you want to make sure that you put that bass drum on 3. It just makes it round out a little bit better. I mean, you don't have to, and you could try doing it both ways, but this way you actually are putting a bass drum on beats 2 and 4, and you're giving it that push. So again, the bass drum pattern is going to be on 1, 2 E and A, 3, 4 E and A, 1. And then you'll do the bar that you played before you play the groove. So anyway, here's a demonstration of that. Just listen to how I do it, and then you try to do it. So exercise 4 is, it's basically the combination of 2 and 3 put together. You're going to be playing 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 on the bass drum. And again, 8th note, quarter note ride pattern, 2 and 4 snare. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can do it the way I have it written, which is when you play the first bar, and then you immediately jump into the double bass for the first half of the second bar, and then you just play like a regular beat, or just kind of play out the second half of the second bar. Or you can play the first half, the same as you were doing with the first bar, and then you can actually play the bass drum on 3E and 4E and then 1, start you over with the next one. So there's two different ways of doing it. I'm only going to demonstrate the one way as written, but feel free to practice both ways. I mean, why not? So, all the other exercises, we've been doing the double bass pattern, starting it on a quarter note and ending it on a quarter note, or ending it just before a quarter note. So exercise 5, we're going to be starting it on an eighth note, we're going to be starting it on the and then we're going to be ending it on an and. So, the bass drum will be on 1, and 2E, and then I put the bass drum, the last one, on the and of 3. You can put it wherever you want, it doesn't really matter. So 1, and 2E, and 2 and 4 on the bass, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, quarter note, eighth note, ride pattern. Again, this one can be flipped as well. You can do it, rather than doing it on the and of 1, you could do it on the and of 3. So you could go like 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3, and a 4 and then 1. Doesn't really matter. That probably screwed you up. But anyway, try it as I've written it, because that's the way that I'm going to be demonstrating it. So there's different ways that you could actually do number 5. Aside from the 2 different ways that I showed you, you can actually change up the foot pattern rather than play it the way you typically would play it, where like anytime you're playing on a 1 and 2 and, you'd play your right foot. So you could play it like right on 1, right on the and then start the single stroke pattern. So like right, left, right, and then whatever. You can actually switch it up by playing right on the 1, and then on the and you could play the left foot. So it would be like right, left, 2E and 1 and 2E and. You could do it that way. You may not want to try that when you're actually playing live, because you could get confused, unless you're really good at it. I mean, why not? But anyway, try playing it that way. It's always good to practice leading with your left. It's always good to try to strengthen your left, because if you really want to be good at double bass, you have to be strong with both feet. Your right foot will get practice playing anything because you're always working it. You can, the more you use your left foot, the more you lead with your left, the more you try to play with your left, the better you'll be with your left, and then your double bass will improve. So that's my wisdom, my end of the lesson wisdom that I'm going to give you for those of you who choose to listen rather than just watch. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to get a hold of me, Facebook, you can get a hold of me through my webpage, ClaytonSkinner.com, at the contact section. You can get a hold of me right here on YouTube, Twitter, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.